What's good, y'all? AJ Simmons checking in. I am the cleaning business GOAT, and today I just want to give y'all a quick lesson, real quick. It's not necessarily business related, but it's still for us entrepreneurs because a lot of us are parents, right? And something that I do with my kids that most people don't always do is I still do allowance, right? But the way I do my allowance is a little bit unique, and so I pay my kids whenever they do their chores or whatever. I pay them $5 every single time they do their chore, right? But most people, like traditionally, people always pay chores at the end of the week, right? But I decided to switch it up. I decided, you know what? I'm gonna pay my kids at every single time they're done. Let me know. I'll transfer the money into your bank account immediately, right? And by the way, make sure your kids get the kids set up with some debit cards and some bank accounts. By the way, like that should be standard at this point, right? And then also connect it to their cell phone, cash app. Show them how to use it. It's a technical world. Make sure they up to date. You know what I mean? As long as they have age. You know what I mean? But anyway, and this is, again, I can't tell you what to do, but this is what I recommend. But anyway, but the reason why I pay my kids every single day, every single time they do a chore versus every single week when they're done, or every single month when they're done, like the traditional way, is because I don't want to train them to be like the typical American waiting for a paycheck. You know, most people go to work, they work a job, and they wait, they do their time, and then at the end of the week or at the end of the 2 weeks or whenever the pay period ends, they get their paycheck. Well, I'm trying to teach my kids to understand, well, listen, it hit better when you do a good job on a service, and in exchange for that service or that good, it could be a product or a service, right? But in exchange for what you offer, you get paid for that. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, if y'all doing contract service business and all of that, you can get paid, net 30, net 90, all of that stuff, which we've done that. Another thing I even did in the past was I let them put their money into CBN, put it into my company, and then I'll say, you put your money in, let's just say they had $200 saved up or something. I say, put your money in and put $200 in CBN today, and I give you back 400 come Christmas, right? And I would do that just because I wanted to get their mind in the habit of investing and long-term investing. And 6 months for a kid is like forever, right? Or even like not getting used to instant gratification. All right, so that's one of the reasons why I was doing that. But anyway, I'm bringing this up to tell you this is because I had somebody like to question me about it. Like, one, they was swearing that I was paying them too much, like $5 every time. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I think that, one, I want my kids to, I want them to live good, but I also want them to earn it. You know what I mean? It's like, I want you to know that you can make more than the average person your age. You know what I mean? And I also want you to know the value in doing a good job exchanging your goods, you know what I mean, or services for reward, for monetary value. You know what I mean? And so if they do a bad job, guess what? They don't get the whole 5. You might get 3 this time. You might get 2. If it's like, for example, you washing dishes, and we had company it's double the dishes than they usually would be. Fuck it, I'll pay you double. You get 10 this time. You know what I mean? And so, but it's just little stuff like that I feel like entrepreneurs I want to kind of like point this out because as entrepreneurs, it's like it's hard sometimes, like especially if in the startup phases, it's hard to find time to spend with your kids. It's hard to balance, the time that you're gonna put into the business versus the time you're gonna put into home. And so one of the things that I wanted to do was I was like, well, maybe sometimes I can't always be there in time, but how can we be there and teach them lessons or make our impact felt in other ways? And so just a quick little message that I want to share this with y'all. You know what I mean? Like, bam, when it comes to them kids, find ways that you can teach them different lessons on how to survive and thrive as an adult. You know what I mean? Like, that whole stay in the child's place, I get it to an extent, like, because kids' brains just ain't developed to handle certain things, right? So as far as like, adult business, fine. They don't need to know all of that. But when it comes to certain things, though, we got to start conditioning our kids to want more, to do more, to think, well, I'm going to do my best because I know if I do my best, I might get a tip or I might get paid more for my service. Or I'm just going to get paid the full amount in exchange for what I said, what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? I make sure I put my kids on schedule, my son in particular. You know what I mean? Like, that's my special project right there. You know what I mean? Like, my daughter, she pretty much good at self-managing herself because she like to be to herself, and she know the rules are very simple. You do what you're supposed to do, you ain't got to hear her mouth. You know what I mean? So, and it's like, but I keep my son on the schedule, you know what I mean? I like to make sure that they're doing a lot of the time, make them get up, work out with me, especially now that the summer out. You got to get up. If I'm getting up going to the gym, you get up, go to the gym. I'm doing work, you better do some work. Do something. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna sit in here all summer and just be on the game going brain dead the entire summer. You know what I mean? You say you want to go to the NBA, well, let's work on that game every single day. You got to at least 15 minutes. You know what I mean? At least. And it's like, and it ain't even about him actually making it to the NBA. You know what I mean? It ain't about them really, you know what I mean? It's really about just building those habits. Building those habits that can get you to anything you want to get to in life. Because as time goes on, your goals change, right? Or your goalposts might move. You might decide, actually, I don't want to do that, I want to do this. But regardless of what you want to do, as far as being successful in it, the habits remain the same, y'all. So, more story, build those habits up. You know what I mean? And when it comes to them kids, make sure that you're teaching them the same habits that it takes for you to be successful. Teach them now while they still young. It's like start instilling it in them, because guess what? How you do anything is how you do everything. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's all I got for today. I'm AJ Simmons, founder of the Clean Business Network. I am the Cleaning Business GOAT. And if you're thinking about starting a business at all, I recommend the cleaning industry. Why? Because it's very low barrier to entry, don't cost a whole lot, and it's extremely high upside. You can make as much money as you want to in this industry. You ain't got to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Just build this cleaning business and take off for how big you ever want to do. So if you want to get to $5 grand, $10 grand a month, you can do that. And you ain't got to scale it all big. If you want to get to 100 million, you can do that. But you're going to have to scale, and you're going to have to definitely put in some real work. Either way, you're going to have to put in a little bit of work, but it'll definitely be worth it, and you can make it to all what you want to make it into. So if you're interested in that, check out www.cleanbusinessnetwork.com. We got cleaning business starter kits available. We got leads available to help you get customers fast. We got courses, CRM software, all of that stuff, bidding calculators, service agreements, you name it, we got it. Everything to help you. So check out www.cleanbusinessnetwork.com. I'm AJ Simmons. I'm out of here. Thank y'all.